Okay, let's go. Thank you guys for being so patient with me. Okay. Now, actually, what I want to go. Oops. Okay, there we go. I was testing out something in OBS which wasn't working. So I've just set it on the sidelines for now. So that we can get ahead with our Figma. Now, I don't actually know what I want to build in Figma today, but we just make it up as we go along. We just make it up as we go along. Okay. So let's create a new Figma board. And let me just check that I have notifications on. Yes, I do. And oh my god, I wanted to set up something else that I've forgotten. Let me see if I can do it. One moment. Let me check something. I am having issues today. Oh. But we're almost fixing them all. Almost. Let me see. Just up here. Why doesn't it appear? Come on. I'm trying to set up my live subscribe account, but it's not appearing on screen. Like I said, I'm having some very serious issues today, and I don't know why it's happening. Okay, let me delete this, and let me create another one. Let's say sub count, and then let's say which one is it? This one. There we go. Okay. Let's take it this side, and actually no, that's not one. I wanted to do this to hide it just a bit. And there we go. Okay, finally. Okay, let's get on with it. Now, where are we? We were creating a new Figma board. Let's get a frame from here. What am I doing? Let's create for desktop 1440. Okay, and we're also going to need the mobile version. So let's get the where is it? The phone. Let's get the 375. Really? Right there. And what do we need? Let me get my ruler. Place it to the middle, but I can't really see the middle yet. So let's fix that. Add a layout grid. Let's see. Letters 16. Let's say 10. Is that a good idea? Should be fine anyway. Let's get the iPhone. Let's say set this to columns. Let's say 4 to the center, 100 for the width, and 16 for the gotcha. Where's the width? 3 should be fine. 3 should be fine. Those are some famous last words, but it's okay. And in case I'm dropping frames, please just let me know in the chat. Thank you. Now let's see. We are going to need colors for our website, right? We are going to need colors. So what colors should we choose? That's what I'm doing. Here it is. White is going to be our background, right? We're going to have white for our background. And what are we going to have for our primary colors? Not instead of thinking too much, let me just go into Dribble and get some inspiration from there. Let's go into Dribble. Oh, and you can see this screen, so let me fix that. Let's fix that by showing this. Let me fix that. By showing this, there we go. Should now be visible. Okay, so let's see. We just need some 2 colors that match up really well. And then, yeah, it should be fine. This looks like stripe though. What can we do? Should we use the green? Should we use this kind of green? Can I pick this color? Can I? 05434. Okay, let's work with that. And we need a slightly less green color to match up with it. Okay, let's work with those 2 for now. In case we need to add another one, then I'm going to add it right there. But for now, what we do, we just want to grab this, move them here, and then grab this font and move it here so that I can see this. I'm not going to be having some audio in some portions. That's because I don't want everything that is going on around to be captured inside the stream. It's going to be much better. So I'm going to be muting and unmuting myself in various sections. So let's see. What do we want to call this? Let's call it what? Let's call it future. Let's get a font. What font do you want to use? Roboto condensed. That looks elegant. I'm too lazy to start looking for a font and a logo and start creating a logo and everything and whatnot. So that's why I do not want to do it. I don't want to do it. This font is called what? Okay. And then let's get some more text. Let's say home. And what am I doing? Let's say Roboto condensed. Yeah, let's use those two fonts. And then of course reduce the font size for each one of these back to 14. Move it downwards. Home, about, contacts, pricing. Should be fine. Then let's group these, move them downwards. So I'm not group them. Ungroup them. Okay. So that I can space this out by 30 pixels each. By 30 pixels each. Let's look at this. And you know what? Instead of having this, let's move this to the right so that this can be our call to action button. So let's see, add auto layout. Okay, and then let's say do this with our primary color. Change the text to our secondary. Is this really visible? Nope. Let's change it to white. And then add slight border radius on this. 5 pixels should be fine. And then I think I like this brighter one much better in terms of our call to action button. So let's fix that. Let's use the brighter one. Yep, I think that should be fine. Let's see, let's disable this. How does this look? Okay, instead of having this, then actually let me just place my ruler here so that I know where the middle is, right there. Let's just grab this and move it to the center. And we have future, we have home, board contest, and then we have the pricing. Yep, I think that's much better. Okay, drink some water. Okay, let's see, we have this. We want a very nice background image, right? A really cool looking background image. So let's get our rectangle. Let me have it as a, where's the middle? It is right there, right? Move backwards like so. And then let's say plugins, let's look for pixels. Let's search for future. Let's see what comes up if it searches for future. This looks nice. Let's see how this looks. And I'm doing all of this without any preparation, guys. So if it turns out badly, then you know, what can we do? It's not going to be all the best, but you know. Oh, you know what? We can turn this into a furniture store. Yeah, that's right. We can turn this into a furniture store, and we're going to do that actually. Yep, this looks nice. This actually looks nice. Let me lock this so that it doesn't move. And then let me change this text from pricing to store. Okay. And then this grid is just a bit faint right now, so let's increase its intensity. by adding the opacity here to around 80%, just so that I can see it for now. I say, hey, that's too much. That's too much. Let's say 50. So that I can see that this needs to move right there. And then I can tell that this text now needs to be white. Come on. And then I can tell that these three texts also need to be white in color. And then once we have that, then I can disable this grid just to see how this looks. And would you look at that? Would you look at that? That's looking nice. I can speak. But then again, I would like to add a bit of overlay. I'm going to add a bit of overlay just so that the text is just a bit more readable, because its contrast isn't really all that good, and I want to just change it up a bit, right? What did I want to do? I wanted to go back inside here, change this back to 10%. And then grab another rectangle, add it on top of this right there, move it behind like so, and make this non-transparent, or rather translucent. That's what it's called, right? And then place this to around a very slight black, or the black right around there. Let's see. Yep, the contrast is much better, much better. Okay, and then what can we do? I should also lock this rectangle so that it doesn't keep on moving. Let's add a very large text on this, right? Let's add some very large text on this, about 72 pixels right there. And then let's say what is a good catchy phrase for a furniture store? Style in living. Come on. Place it to the center right there. Okay. Should I have it to the absolute center? Absolute center is fine. And then let's add some button here. And actually, not what am I doing? I already have it right here. Come on, seriously. Just grab this and duplicate it right there. And that should be fine. Remember, guys, more is always less. I don't know why I said it like that. And actually, what I wanted to say is less is more. What am I doing? Less is more. Let's set this to 20. And then let's grab this, group them, and then move it to the center like so. So that there we go. That's looking nice. That is looking very nice. Okay, let's deal with our next section where we want to have something like what? A store, not really a store, but like some cards. And I'm going to start off the cards right around it. Oh, wait a minute. I don't have my grid. There we go. So this should start right there. And it should be around, this is 260 pixels, so let me make it 216 by 216, so 216, and then duplicate it here, and then duplicate it here, and then here, and finally there. Look at that. And then let's grab this, duplicate it downwards by 20 20, come on, 20 pixels. Okay, you know what? This should be 20 pixels. All right, you know what? This is 16 between each of these, right? So let's also make it 16 just so that the spacing is more uniform for every single one of them. And once we do that, and that's a lot am I doing? I'm even doing something wrong and I don't even realize it. So let's push this downwards, because what I want to have on top of this is some kind of a store, right? So let's grab some text here. Let's just say some, and then let's grab some other text. Let's say $98, $, 98, rather 87. Let's push this right around there, and then let's grab some random text. So let me show you where I usually get my random text from. Might help you quite a bit. And I should be showing the screen, but I'm not. Let me show you. There we go. So let's say random text generator, and we should get this. And there we go. So it's no longer lorem ipsum. It's technically still random text, but it's, let me just grab it until here. Okay, and then let me switch off this. And then let's go ahead and paste this inside, and of course reduce its width to right around there. Right around there. Okay. Push this back to the edge. Just make the design a bit cleaner. Just a bit cleaner. There we go. Move this to the edge as well. And then for this, what I want to do is I want this to be bolding font. Bolding font, let's make this 16 pixels. 16. Move it upwards. Let's also make this 16 pixels. And actually, you know what? I want the pricing to jump out, right? So let's make it 20 pixels to be just a bit bigger, and then also make it bold, like so. Does that really look nice? Let me try something. Let me make this light. No, that one, you won't be able to read the name of the item if you're going to be purchasing it, for example. Move this to the edge. And then make sure that this, make sure that this is aligned. This is not aligned. Right there. Wait a minute. This is so annoying. Let me grab this, let me group this, and then align this to be 20 pixels from the card image. And then grab this, make this font lighter, move it downwards. This is 14 pixels, right? Let me see. Yeah, that should be 14 pixels. That should be 14 pixels. And then let me make sure that it is also 20 pixels away, just so that we can maintain a bit. This space looks much bigger than this. So what I'm going to do is, between these two text items, let me make the text to be 10. The margin, sorry, to be 10 pixels. Okay. Okay, fantastic. Now, once we do all that, then we want to do a lot of copy pasting. I'm just going to grab all of this, because as you can tell, this is just a fictional store, you know. Paste it right there, duplicate it, duplicate it. Really? Move this left, rather right. And this should also move to the left by a pixel. And then this should move to the right by a pixel. And that should be it, right? Correct. And then once we have that, then I can grab all of this, move it upwards, right there. Okay, and then just going to grab all of this text and duplicate it downwards so that we don't have to do it one by one by one. There we go. And just like that, we have our almost nice store in place, but not quite yet because we need pictures. So let's get them pictures. So go to plugins, pixels, and you can install the plugin if you don't have it. Let's search for chair. And these are just going to be random images because I don't feel like editing anything right now. I really don't feel like editing anything right now. So get that inside, get that one, get that one, get this one. Now when I'm building this out for our coding project, I might add a bit more detailed description just so that it brings a much better feel of the store, right? Like a real store. I might just add a bit more description to make it much better. Okay, and as you can see, I'm just grabbing some random chair images, just some random ones. Actually, you know what am I doing? I wanted a furniture store, so let's search for sofa. Get this. This actually looks very nice, if I do say so myself, which I do. And one more thing that we can do actually is we can the line height for this is very little. We can add a bit more line height, and then we can add some box shadow to separate these cards out, right? Okay, give me a moment. Okay, I'm back. Now, I was saying that we can do something more on these cards just to separate them out from one another, where we can add some box shadow, right? We can add some box shadow, or we can add a very light background color on each one of them, because this looks like now technically you can tell that they are cards, but they still look like it's one continuous sentence, right? I don't want that to happen. I do not want that to happen. Okay, so let's see. Am I going to have to add a background color or a box shadow for each one of them? effects, drop shadow. Let's say, let's add the slide bar. No, undo that. That is not what I wanted. I don't want that happen. So let me group this, and then group this text, 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 and then group this, and this, and this, and this, and finally this. Okay, so that when I go to effects, when I go to effects, I should see, wait, oh, you know what, I made a blunder. I made me a blunder. Oh, no. Now, what I should have done was, this box shadow. What I should have done was I should have placed all of this, the image and the text, inside a rectangle, so that when I add a box shadow, then it will apply on the rectangle. But now what I've done is I've separated, and this has happened, which is not really what I wanted. But another solution to this would be to add some kind of hover animation when you hover over each of the elements, where you can add a box shadow when you hover over them, or you can add a very slight background color when you hover over them. That is also another solution. So don't feel like redoing all of this with each of the rectangles. Then I'm just going to leave it at that, because it will just take a massive amount of time, which I also don't feel like doing. Okay, now once we do that, then we can add another section here for the testimonials, right? Let's add this. Let's say testimonials, and then let me remember to add my grid right there. Grab this text, move it right there, change this text into that. I don't know how to pronounce this, that's why I don't want to do it. Let's make this 36. What size was this? It was a 36. I don't want this to be the same size as the header, so let me make this 32. And then once you make it to 32, you can just grab this and move it inwards like so. And then what do I want to do? I want to do something nice for this section. Let me increase this just a bit better. So let's see, what can we do? I want to have an image here, right? I want to have the image of a person here. Now where should I place it? To the end should be fine. And then what I want to do is, actually this should be down. Should move slightly down away from this header. And then what I want to do is I want to add some text here. Okay, and I'm going to grab my random text once again. Let me show that screen. So I'm going to grab some random text. Just grab this, cut it out, and hide this once again, and paste it right there. That's quite a lot. Just oops. No, don't do that. What am I doing? Where's this text? Just grab it and shrink it downwards. Just shrink it downwards, of course, and change this font back to Roboto condensed. Make it lighter, like so, and change the font size to what font size was I using here? This was still 14. I'm using 14. 14 looks quite small. Is this 14 really? Okay, it's 14. And then I just want to increase this line height, let's say 30. Too much, 24. 22. Much better. 22 is much better. And make this to end right there. And then grab this and move it inside by 1 pixel. Okay. And then let's see what I can do with this image. Now I could technically do this so that it's not really all that much separated from the text here. And then I can reduce it right around there. And then we can do something else. Like what? We want to add the name of a person. Let's say, what's a good name? Let's call the person, I can't think of a name. Come on, I really can't think of a name. Are you serious? Let's say Kathleen. Kathleen who? Granger. If you get the reference. Let's make that bold. Right. Increase the font size for this to 24. Make it bigger than this text, but smaller than the header. Right. And then we can do something else like this. We can say CEO of which company? Nike or Nike, however you pronounce it. And then grab this text, make it lighter and make it smaller. Let's say 16. There we go. There we go. That looks nice. That looks nice. And then once we have this, what I want to do is I want this to be able to I want this to be a slider, right? Right. I want this to be a slider. So what I'm going to do is add an arrow. We are going to add an arrow. And how do we add an arrow? I have a plugin installed called Iconify. It looks much better. Thank you very much. Let's get what was I looking for? I was looking for arrow, and I want a right pointing arrow. There really isn't. Okay, there we go. Import that arrow, and here it is. Just move it downwards. Where should we place it? Actually, by the way, what is the margin between these two? 27. Nope, I want it to be 20, just so that we can maintain a semblance of, you know, what's it called, uniformity. Yep. Let me see what happens if I increase this. This is not the arrow I wanted. This is not the one I wanted. Let's see. I want a right pointing arrow. Let me grab this and I'm going to rotate it. So import the icon right there. Let's rotate it. Rotate, come on. Rotate means rotate. There you go. And then increase the width right around there. Reduce it and reduce it. And then what we're going to do, should I place it here? Should I place it here? Does it look crowded? Let me grab all of this and move it downwards to the center. No. Let's take it back to where you are. and move upwards. And then let me grab this and place it somewhere. Where do I place it? Probably there. And make sure that this is also 20 pixels apart. And then I'm going to grab this, add auto layout, and then we are going to say fill this with our primary color. Primary or secondary? Primary or secondary? Primary or secondary? Change this text to white. Looks like a transparent arrow. Change this to 5 pixel border radius and move it to the left. There you go. And then once you do this, you know what I've just realized? We don't have a buy button on each one of these. That's what I just realized. But I have a solution for it once again. We're going to add the buy button when you hover over them. Yep, that should be nice. Add the buy button when we hover over it. And I don't like this color. Should I use this lighter one? Or you know, this color actually might be good because it's not really, it doesn't intrude on the eye. So this is a lighter color because this background is darker, right? Just to keep up with the contrast. And then this is also light. Yeah, I think I'm just going to use this lighter one so that we can avoid having too many instances of the same color. Of different colors, too many instances of different colors. And then let's add an image here. Go to my Pexels plugin and let's search for what? Portrait. Let's see. Wait, are these images recurring? Let's say company man. See what comes up. Why is it so hard to look for a single image? Why is it so hard to look for a single image? But anyway, Pexels isn't really known for like professional portrait photos, you know. Why is it so hard to find a single image? Okay, that should work fine. That should work fine. There you go. And let me add my grid just to confirm that all of this is working correctly. Yep, should be fine. And that is also fine. Looking amazing. Now, notice how there's quite a lot of white space here. So let me grab all of this and move it downwards. Move it downwards to the center. Where's the center? Right there. That's the center. Move it to the left. Right there. And we can do this. And then for this, let me actually increase this font size so that it jumps out that this is now the testimonial section. And then what are we going to do? We need to have another image for this. Should I place this here? Should I place it here so that I can do this? Just grab this and move it upwards just a bit. Let's say right around there. Make sure that this is not eating up, so move it to the left like so. and we just make sure that this is also not eating up. Move it to the right. There we go. There we go. The spacing here still bothers me. The spacing still bothers me. And I think it's because of, or rather because of this. Maybe having this arrow like this wasn't really the best idea. Maybe it wasn't the best idea, but it works, right? Oh, and what I wanted to do something. I wanted to change these links because these links talk nothing about this website. So let's see, browse items. I can't type. And then let's see, space this out. That's 30. This should also be 30. You can say home browse items, or we can say what? Shares. I don't know. But since it's a furniture store, I don't know. Let's just go ahead with the next section. Let's go ahead with the next section. And our next section is going to have what? We can say an advertised section, right? Really? We can have an advertised section. And what are we going to have in the advertised section? A form? I hate forms. I really hate forms. You know what? Instead of having an advertised section, let's have a newsletter section. So let's just say subscribe to the newsletter. Subscribe to our newsletter. Change this font to that. Change it to 36. Font size 36. Okay, nope. Let's change the font size to 48 so that it matches up with this. And this was 72 if I do remember correctly, and this was 36. So this was half of this, and this is 3/4, right? Or rather, I don't know, almost 3/4. Move this back to the center, right there. Subscribe to our newsletter, and then let's say something like some random text, right? Increase this. Let's say something like, let me see, am I dropping frames? Yes, but not so much. So let's say something like what? Subscribe to our newsletter. What do we need for our subscribe to our newsletter button? We just need an email input, right? We need an email input. Should I make this cheesy and make this full screen? No, I think that's just cheesy. That's too cheesy, right? And let me place this to the left because I want to have some text to the right that says your email address. Your email address. Change this back to roboto condensed, and then make this light font. Change this to 24, and let me have the spacing here as 30 pixels so that I can grab this and move them and place them to the center like so. How to add photos for edit, for measuring size in Figma. For measuring size, I don't understand the question. What was it? Photos, measuring size in Figma. How do you mean? How do you mean? I don't really understand the question. What do you need on a subscribe button? We just need the form. Let me make this white, and then let me add a box shadow of 0, 5, 5, and let me make this a primary color so that this happens. Nope, that's not what I wanted. It should be 5 and 0, 0. Wait, is that right? Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted. That is what I wanted. Does this really look? Rather than having that, let me move this box shadow, and then let me make this color to be green with a very slight opacity. 25% opacity should be fine. And then let's add our subscribe button, right? So what is it? It is your email address. Oops, we need to move that. Your email address, and then subscribe. This looks terrible. This looks terrible. Let's do this instead. So we have your email address right there, 20 pixels correct, and then we have our subscribe button below it. So let's say subscribe and add auto layout, and let's fill this with our primary color, change the text to white, and let's add a border radius of 5 pixels all around. Okay, and a margin of 20 pixels. That's looking correct. It's looking nice. And actually, what font did I use on the button? What font did I use on this button? It was a regular one. The regular font weight, sorry, font weight. So let's fix that by setting this to regular, just so that it matches up just a bit better. And let's also add a border radius on this of 5 pixels just to maintain the uniformity of the entire web page. And then I wanted to add a padding on this button, so let's add a padding of 20. And then probably I would want it to be full screen, right? But how do you place text to the center? Okay, let me just leave it at that. Let me just leave it at that because I can tell we could spend quite a bit of time right there. So subscribe to our newsletter, and then finally let's have our footer at the bottom because I don't want a very big footer, just something small, just something small. And you know what? I've just realized something. I have just realized something. I could add a what's it called? A thingy. What's it called? I'm forgetting its name. I could add a color gradient. There you go. I could add a color gradient, maybe on our newsletter, for example, or on the testimonial section, so that every time you switch, then the color gradient also switches. The way Stripe does it. How does Stripe do it? Let me just confirm this. Let me show you. I don't know whether you've seen the latest Stripe website. The website is cool. Look at this. And watch how it switches. Looking very, very nice, isn't it? Looking very, very nice. So that's what I'm talking about. What did I want to do here? Now, being that this is a furniture store, all I would want to have in my footer, apart from the links, of course, and my logo, would be what? Would be social media links, right? So let me make this into very, very light gray. Yep, that works fine. And then lock this in place. And then let me grab my logo here that says future, like so. Change this to my logo font right there. Change this to 36 pixels. Move this to the left right there. And then let's have my 3 links from the navbar, which were what? Home, right? There were 3 links on the navbar. Change this font to Roboto Condensed. Change this to a light font. Change this to 14 pixels. Change the spacing to 30. And move this inwards to 30 pixels as well. And then grab this and move them to the center, like so. So this should say browse items. And they should move apart to 30 pixels right there. And this should what is the third font? What the third link, sorry, in the third font. Chairs, like so. Okay, so this is 30 pixels. That is 30 pixels, correct. And then once you have chairs, then what did I want to do next? And you know what, I've made another mistake. Okay, so I didn't want to do this actually. I wanted to add some social media icons. So let me go to Iconify. Let me get Facebook, double OK. So we have, I want this icon and import it. And then I want Twitter. Grab this blue one. Nope, let me grab this one. And then we can have Instagram. And let's grab this one, import it. And then we want Tumblr. Let's grab this one. Nope, let's grab this one, import it. And then finally we want Pinterest. And let's grab this and import it. And we should see our imports here. So let's grab all of them. Really? Come on. Are you serious? Wants me to grab them one by one. Okay, let me move this ruler. It's starting to be annoying. Grab this. This is Tumblr. Grab this, Instagram. Grab this, Twitter. And this should be Facebook. Okay, let's start to resize them. I'm going to be resizing them to around 32 by 32. Okay. Resize to 32 by 32. Resize this to 32 by 32. Resize this to, 32 by 32. And finally resize this to 32 by 32. There we go. And then what was it? I wanted to do something else. I wanted to make them gray. In color. So just make sure they're aligned. Sorry, are they aligned? Okay, there we go. Space this out. Let's say 30. Space this out. Let's say 30 once again. Space this out. Let's say 30. And let's say 30. Okay. Grab all of this. change this text color to a very slight gray. Okay, not very slight, but you catch my drift. And then group these so that I can just move all of them at once, place them to the center. To the center. Let me place it right there. And then once we have this, then let me add a call to action button here that says stop. Okay, add auto layout, fill this color with that, change the text color to white. Okay, and make this to regular, add a border radius of 5, and then move ahead. And oops, what tool do I have? Okay, I want the view tool. Okay, there we go. View tool. Come on, seriously. Move it right there. So you have this. Now this color looks similar to this. It might be confusing. Might be confusing. So let me change this to a darker version, to our darker text, our darker color that we had on the top, if you remember this one right here. So that we are going to have this, and this should be our almost finished desktop design. Our almost finished right around there. And then let's grab this and disable the grid. Would you look at that? Look at this design. This design looks clean, except for the newsletter section, of course, because this looks terrible. Looks terrible. It has a lot of white space. Too much white space. An alternative to this would be I could add the newsletter section inside the footer, but I don't want the footer to be big. I want it to be just small like this. I don't want the footer to be big. That is an alternative to this. But we'll figure out what to do with it when we start building out our design. Now, of course, the bane of every developer is to build this out for mobile screens as well. So annoying. So annoying. Do I really want to do this for the mobile? Because this is very repetitive. It is very repetitive. But what can we do? Let's make this bigger. And then let's start with our mobile. So the first thing that I need to do is actually just grab these two rectangles here. Remember there are two rectangles, one with the image and the other with the background overlay. Just duplicate it right there. Okay. Reduce the size for this. Yep, that should be fine. And this is still 512 in height. And then once I do that, then I can lock this and I can grab the second rectangle. Is it? The second rectangle with the overlay color. There we go. With the overlay color. And then what I want is, did I disconnect? No, I did not disconnect. Okay, I didn't disconnect. So what we want to do here, what do you want to do actually? We just want to have our logo first of all. We want to have our logo. And let me lock this. Where's my phone? Close this. Why? I want these two to be inside here. There we go. And then I can lock them. And then let's have my font here. So not my font, but my logo. My logo should be here to the center, like so. This is how many? This should be 36. To the center. Where's the center? There we go. That's the center. And then to the left of this, I want to have an icon for my hamburger menu. And the icon that you want is this one. No, let me grab this one. No, actually, let me grab this one. And where are you? There you are. So move it upwards. Move it upwards right there. Okay. And of course, scale it down because I don't want this big hamburger menu. Scale it down right there. Change the text, the color to white so that it's visible for the contrast. Okay, so this is going to be a hamburger menu and it's going to encase everything inside here. All of this, including this thingy, the call to action button. And once we do that, then we want our H1 that says style in living. So style in living. And I said, this text looks very nice. This text looks quite nice in terms of the appeal, you know. So let me see if I change this. Let me just change this text. So they have this, and actually ungroup this first of all, but you can place this to the center. Really? Does it really need me to do this? Where's the actual center? Is it the center? I can't even tell anymore. Let's just hope that Figma can tell. Okay, that's the center. Move this to the center as well. And then I can go. No. Don't do that. Lock this first of all. Then grab this, and that should be fine. There we go. Yep, I think this looks nice. I actually think that looks much better, right? Right. So style in living. And then let's increase this. This is already at 6. Okay, that's fine. And then let's have some text here that says store. And of course, this is our call to action button. Reduce it to 18. Change this text to roboto condensed. And then add auto layout. Change the body radius to 5. Change this text to regular. Okay, that's fine. And then we need to add a fill color here to this so that we have this. And this is our store. Would you look at that? That's looking fantastic. Well, almost fantastic anyway. This should be upwards right around there, and then this should be 20 pixels apart so they can group this and then move them to the magnetic center. Or is it magnetic north? Doesn't really matter. And then once you do that, then we just want to have this next section. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to duplicate it here. right? And then of course increase the size to the end. Increase the size to the end. Okay, this image doesn't really go all the way to the end. Go all the way to the end. There we go. And then of course realign this. Really? Realign this. There we go. Okay. Okay. And what I wanted to do is I wanted this to be around 21 in line height, in terms of line height. Actually, I had 22 for the other section, right? So let's keep it uniform by adding this to 22 as well. And then once we do this, then I want this to move downwards just a bit, Okay. Now, once we do this, then we will need to do the same thing for each and every single one of this. But I only want to do the first line because for mobile screens, I'm not sure whether I'm going to display this second one just so that we don't have too much to scroll with, right? On mobile screens. So add this, and then grab this, and add this, and then grab this, and add this. Grab this and add this right there. Start to realign them. There we go. Grab this next one. There we go. Grab the next one. There we go. Grab the next one. And there we go. Okay. And just in case you're wondering, I'm going to add all of this to my GitHub, just so that you can have access to everything, right? Because I'm going to be coding this out once I am done. Let's add the spacing here to 20 pixels. Let me just use 20 pixels so that I am uniform all over. And set this to 20 pixels. Set this to 20 pixels. And set this to 20 pixels. So we have that, and then we can now begin the nitty-gritties. Want to align this and align this. Oops. Come on, select this text. There we go. And then move this. Oops. Is that correct? That should be fine. And I've just noted that I've made another mistake where I have not added the line height for each one of these. I have not added the line height. Increase this as well. Hello. Hi. Move this right there. Okay, I'm going to mute for a moment. I'm going to be muting just for a moment. Okay, I am back. Okay. Now that we have all of this, notice how I added a lot of line height here, but none of it here, okay? So because if I add a line height to this, then it would disrupt all of these other spacing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove this line height and set this back to, what was it? Was it 18? 18, I think. Or was it 16? I think 16 will do. 16 will do. Okay, which means I would have to respace this back to 20 and respace this back to 20 and then respace this back to 20 and do the same for this, back to 20. Okay, and then once you do that, then let's go to our testimonials section next. So testimonials, so let's say testimonials, change this text to this, change this to what did I use up here? Can't remember. 36. Okay, let's use 36. Sorry, not 36 but 32. Let's use 32 here, and then once we have 32 on this, let me bring out my ruler. Oops, bring out my ruler, place it to the center right there, so that I can align this to the center, like so. Let me move it upwards. That should be fine. So for my testimonials, then what am I going to do? I'm going to have this image, right? So I've got this image right there. Reduce the size, resize it. Okay. Reduce the size right there. And then let's make it into a square. This is what? It should be around 332. Let's see, 332. Make it into a square. And then we can grab this text. We can grab this text. Sorry, not the testimonials text, but this one. Right there. Duplicate it on the bottom. And move it. Really? Shrink it down. And shrink it down, come on, and increase this to right around there, and space this, set this to 20, and then grab both of these, move them upwards, right? And then what size was this? This was what size was this? Can't remember. This was what? Can't remember. That was 16. This is 24. Okay, there we go. So that's 16 and 24. And then we need our newsletter section next. So let's say subscribe to our newsletter. Grab this text, move it here, reduce it. Let's say set this to 32 as well. Okay, and move it to the center right there. And then for subscribe to our newsletter, we want these three items, and paste them inside here. And I think I'm actually going to show you how we can add a newsletter in React, in case you don't know how to do that. But it's very simple because you know there's so many options, and the reason why I've remembered that is because someone once asked me about it on stream, and I had forgotten the name of this service. but now remembered it. Oops. Come on, move upwards. No, you move upwards. 20 pixels. Increase this to subscribe. What size was this? This was 24. Let's reduce it to 18. And reduce this padding. Okay, rather than the padding, let's reduce the frame itself. And you know what? Okay, you know what? That should be fine. That should be fine. Or you know what? On small screens, I could have this on the right, because most people are right-handed, which means it would be easier for them to tap this. And then once we do that, then I want to increase this one more time to make space for our footer, which is a very, very simple footer. And I'm going to add a rectangle here. Right. And this rectangle, what is the color for this rectangle? Can't remember. Well, what was the color for the rectangle? Actually, can't remember. Desktop. This one. It was EC. Okay, so let's grab this, change this to EC. Make it very, very light. And then we're going to have our logo in the middle. So future, like so. And then I want to lock this so that doesn't move. And then let's say, where's my font? Where's my font? There you are. Change this to 36 pixels. And then let's grab our social media. Grab that and duplicate it right here. Look at that, fits perfectly to the center. And then finally we have our store button. Really, I copied the text. I copied the text and not the thing. Grab that and duplicate it right here. Look at that, looking fantastic. And really, let's set this to 50. Why do you do that? Why do you do that? 50 right there. And there we go. We have our mobile version right here. Let's look at this. And then we have our desktop version right there. That's looking amazing. Very simple design, and I think it looks elegant, except for this newsletter section for desktop screens. And yep. Now, before we continue, I just want to add this to my GitHub. Let me just remember where I placed my thingies. Okay, let me go into GitHub. Okay, I'm just going to GitHub. Let me show you what I'm doing. So let me go into GitHub so that I can tell where my thing is. Where was it? Figma. Okay, so this is the repository where I keep my Figma designs, in case you're wondering. So it is /Figma designs. That's the name of the repository. And then let me just confirm that this is also what I have in my folders. So I have adverb, I have the portfolio. Yep, that should be it. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to clone this repository, right? Because I want to add these new Figma designs inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to where is it? what I want to do actually. What did I want to do? What do I want to do? Let me first delete this. Okay. And let's open up command prompt. So cmd, and I know you can't see this. I'm going to fix that in a moment. So let's say window capture. Let's say cmd. There you go. You should now see it on the screen. There we go. So I'm going to seed it into my desktop, right? Is that actually showing? Okay, there you go. And then I want to copy this. So copy this, the link to the repository, and then open this backup. What am I doing? What am I doing? So let's say git clone, and then just paste this in. It's quite a big repository. It's about 60 megabytes because of the design files that I have inside. There we go. And then I'm going to open VS Code into Figma Designs, like so. And then once I open that up, then I'm going to hide my command prompt so that it doesn't take up the entire screen. And then once we do that, then I'm also going to hide this so that I can go back into Figma. Okay, as VS Code is opening. And what I want to do is I want to export the entire thing. I want to export the desktop design as well as the mobile design. Oops, don't do that. Why don't you do that? Okay, so let's see. So the desktop, and then let's say export, and we want to export it as a JPEG. And I want this to export into desktop into Figma Designs right here. And then let's create a new folder. It says, what is it? Future Store. You know what? I want to make this into Future Dash Store. Okay, so export this and wait, what am I doing? Is that correct? That should be correct. Desktop, Figma Designs, right inside here. And let's say desktop. Let's say desktop dash 1440. Save this inside, and then grab this and export it as well as a JPEG. And we want to export it. Come on, seriously. Is it still exporting? Let me see. Where is it? I want to export this now. So export this as iPhone -375. Okay. So now that we have all of this, right? Now that we have all of this, then I need to open up Visual Studio Code, which I already did, and I need to show it on my screen so you can see what I'm doing. So let's see. Is that it? Nope. Let me fix it. Just a moment. Window capture, VS Code, and then let's capture, where is it? VS Code, there we go. So now it should be visible on screen. Now, these are all my designs, all the designs that I've made, right? And then I just want to commit this into to GitHub, to the remote repository. Can't speak. So let me just say git add future dash store and git commit dash m furniture store layout, or that, let's say design. So let's say git push, which will now push it to the remote repository. I could have just dragged and dropped it, but I didn't want to do that because I also wanted to have a local backup. So now if I try to view this, then it should show, and it should show, where is it? It should show this right there, and it should show that future store is now part of the repository. So in case you're looking for the designs, then you can go ahead to Figma Designs, which is the name of the repository, and then go to Future Store, and this is what we have just created right now. Look at that, looking amazing, looking very, very nice. Okay, and now let's go ahead and start building this out. Let's go ahead and start building this out. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to open up my command prompt once again, and then I want to say npx create react app, and I want to call it future, like so, and then just let this run because it is going to take a while. It is seriously going to take a while. So as this runs, I'm going to take a break, and then I'll be back once it is finished. And let me make this full screen. And then probably increase the font size for this. Okay, so see you guys in a moment. I will be back. You know what, as this runs, I should probably do the YouTube intro, right? Should probably do the YouTube intro. Let's see. Um, just give me a moment as I set this up. No, not OBS, come on. Okay, disable this. Disable this and disable this sub count for the YouTube intro and also for the thumbnail. And then move this right around there. Okay, hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be building out this design that we have made in the past live stream, and it is a simple furniture store. And this is the design for the mobile, and this is for the desktop, sorry, and this is the design for the mobile. Just going to scroll down, show you what we're going to be building. It's a simple but elegant design, and in case you're wondering where you need to get the files, I have committed all of this into my GitHub repository for Figma Designs, and I'm going to switch over to this right away. So if you head over to, github.com/St. Thomas/Figma Designs, that's the name of the repository, then you will find a few files and folders. If you go into this folder called Future Store, then you'll find the designs. You'll find the design for the desktop as well as for the iPhone. Now, when you're watching this video, I'm also going to add some more of the items that we're going to need. And by when I say some more of the items, I mean the background image for this and the image assets for all of this, as well as the colors that I'm going to be using and the fonts. So I'm going to link them as well in a README in my GitHub repository for the Figma designs. So what I'm doing currently is I am creating a new React application for our furniture store. And once this finishes running, then we're going to go ahead and do our coding. And that is the simple YouTube intro that I have for you guys. And you've just got a sneak peek. One shot. Usually I do those intros like about 5 times before I settle on one. I'm usually quite nervous. And now I can continue to show the sub count, can I? Sub count doesn't show. Why don't you show me? Doesn't matter. I don't want it to appear in the video anyways. Okay, waiting is quite a hassle. So I am going to reply to messages on my phone. The stream is buffering. The stream is buffering. And how are we going to fix that? My internet connection has become unstable. If it continues like this, I might have to end the stream because I don't want to have to do all this, because I don't want it to keep on buffering while we are coding this out. And if it doesn't fix in the next like 5 minutes, I might have to end the stream and record the video separately, because I seriously don't want to do this when I'm dropping frames and the stream is buffering. But hey, we've been streaming for 2 hours. Achievement. Not really an achievement, but you know, that's usually our what's it called? Our thingy in statistics. Okay, so this should almost be done. This should almost be done. Like I said, it takes quite a long time. Quite a long time. But it usually depends with your laptop speed and your internet connection as well. That's why. And there we go. So now it's finished canvassing my React application. So I'm just going to say code into future. I didn't spell it. Which will open up Visual Studio Code into that folder. Are you experiencing buffering? Because oh my god, this thing is unstable. It is very, very unstable. I don't like it. I do not like it. Even YouTube is telling me the stream status is poor. I don't like it. Let me close this because we're done. Come and close. I wanted to close. There we go. And let me close my sub count as well because we are done with it. I still need Figma open. Yep, I still need Figma open because I need to get these images. should I show it? Okay, I should probably show it for now. But I'm wondering why VS Code is not popping up on screen. Come on. Okay, guys. It's very unstable for me. It's very unstable for me, and even OBS has turned yellow, and I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the stream right here, and then I'm going to record a separate YouTube video for this because I have quite a lot. Let me show you what I have in my Figma. Let me show you. Close this. Just let me rename this to future. Okay, I have quite a lot that I wanted to do in my Figma. This pause is another website that I'm doing, and I said it's already complete, and I kind of use the same design that I have that we've used in the feature design that we just made right now. And I like this loading animation. It's very nice. Not responding is not a good thing. As you can see right there, it's cool. I've used the same kind of design that I've done for the future. And then once we have pause, then I also have Invoicer, which is just an invoicing website that I also built with the color gradients. I don't know if you can see it very clearly. And then this is an invoice application that there's an invoice application that I want to create in React because I want to be able to create invoices by myself. And then Nexus is our to-do application that we actually did a to-do application, right? Yes, we did a to-do application. So Nexus was a design that I had in mind, but I put it aside because I found a better design. And then this is a thumbnail, a YouTube thumbnail. This is something else that I don't want to reveal right now. And then this is for my React course that I'm making right now. So you can head over to Udemy and search for myself. What was that? Search for my name. And I haven't really actually published it yet, but it's still in kind of a draft section. It won't even pop up in the searches. But yeah, I'm also creating a React course, and I also have an HTML5 course on Udemy as well. So you can head over and buy it, or you can type !course in the chat and it will give you a referral link, and you can click that link and purchase the course from there. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. We have been streaming for 2 hours and 7 minutes and 26 seconds. I think that is a very nice achievement, and thank you for following along. I can see that we have 2 viewers or 1 viewer now, and that's looking nice. And just as I say that, now the connection comes back. I hate this thing. But yeah, that is that. I'm going to record a separate YouTube video because I've already decided. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next stream. And I hope that even as I release more videos that you're going to watch them as well. Thank you guys for watching. Help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. And I really appreciate it. Bye-bye.